Hey guys, welcome back to the TRWC podcast. I'm Weebs here with the Cleveland Brawler, and we're here to go through Raw with you. We hope you enjoy all of our analysis for today, and feel free to drop us any comments after the podcast.
What's up, guys? Cleveland Brawler here. I'm ready to talk about this Raw. A lot of people didn't really have too many good things to say about it. Um, so I'm ready to get into really talking about the high points, the low points, and anything in between that you guys want to hear. So let's get it going.
Yeah, so first off, the subject of a lot of debate, we had the remembering China at the very beginning, um, and what we also saw later on, which was the video that they did about China, which was quite well received. Um,
Hmm.
so yeah, it was a good thing that they decided to acknowledge her. There was a lot of fans wondered whether they would because of her history and things, but they put quite a nice video together and
Uh,
yeah,
it was beautiful. I missed the beginning. I was doing something. I was getting some food or something like that. I can't remember. Um, and I missed the beginning of just like the little vignette. So I had to check in the chat to see they if they did it, and then I saw that people were talking about that they did it, and I said that's good. And then later on, I saw the video package, which nearly brought a tear to my eye. It was very, very beautiful. Just beautiful.
yeah. So it was great that they did that and decided to, for once, put the past grievances,
Exactly.
where they belong because she did uh, she passed away young, so it,
Right.
it would
It's
be
it's not like she was just a mid-card talent that,
yeah, and
went
she wasn't in old
no.
age either, so
Right, no.
um,
Definitely not.
so so yeah, so we got the show started off in great fashion. That's sarcasm from me. Roman Reigns video package, basically going back on last week. Um, and then we had the announcement of Roman Reigns vs Del Rio, and AJ Styles v Sheamus. At that point, it didn't fill me with much confidence seeing the beginning for like the plans for the rest of the show. Um, and for me, it got a lot worse because the Shane and Stephanie segment, I wanted to scratch my eyes out. I just couldn't watch it. I mean, like I was watching it, but I did not want to look at the TV. It was that bad.
Right. It seemed very disjointed. Like Shane's pretty good at like improving. I'm pretty sure that what they were like, oh, just go out there and improv something for 15 minutes. And so Shane's a decent improver, but he's almost like when people talk about John Cena, when you put somebody in the ring with John Cena that's better than him, it brings out the best in him.
Yeah.
It's almost like that's how Shane is with his mic work. Um, and you put Stephanie in there with him, and it went.
It was
Pew.
just so awkward and disjointed, and you just like, what do you two even know what you're doing at this point? Because like I'm looking at the TV thinking you look like you have no clue what you're gonna do
I
next.
know exactly. They were like overlapping each other, and it was awful. It
I
was
mean, I
terrible.
assume that they said, oh well, talk for a bit and have a bit of an argument, and then Stephanie's gonna get carried out by security, but even that was just horrible. Like it kind of it reminded me of when Austin got carried out, but the very very PG kiddie version of it. And you're just thinking, what is the point of this? Like I
Don't
don't.
touch me.
Yeah, and she turned around and slapped one of the security, and then she was getting carried away, but she was walking away, and like she was like, "Let go of me," but she wasn't struggling. She was just walking forward as they held her arms, and I'm just thinking, what is this? But yeah, I'm just gonna forget that segment ever
It
existed now.
was just yeah, it was bad.
So the first match we had of the night was Sheamus versus AJ Styles. So what did you think of that match?
Not bad, not bad at all. It I guess kind of like it gave me faith in like because sometimes what they'll do is they'll put the best match first in the show, and then it always ends up to be a hit, and then the rest of the show keeps going downhill. And so this match was not bad. It was decent. So I was like, oh, maybe they're saving maybe Reigns versus Del Rio really is going to be good. And
Hmm.
then the show really never uh got its balance. It never caught.
Yeah, and I mean, right after that, in true Vince McMahon style, you had the Roman Reigns promo, which was, I mean, like, I'm not sure if I dislike the "I'm not a bad guy, I'm not a good guy" thing, or what he said in this backstage segment, which was, he's like sometimes the one needs help from the all, and Roman Reigns said sometimes the all needs help from the one, and I was just like, what does that even mean? It does not make sense to me. Um, you know,
Well, it's because Vince is a billionaire and he can say what he wants, and if you doubt him,
But up until this point, Roman Reigns again has been thrown in our faces, and as you said earlier, even to a really casual fan that only watches this every now and again, they can see that Roman Reigns is being pushed like crazy. Like it's gonna switch people off because like they
I
must
know.
notice that he's being booed and that fans don't like him and he's supposed to be a face. So why throw him? Keep like here's a like how many segments did he have? He had a video package. He had a backstage segment with the Usos. He had a backstage
Right,
segment with AJ Styles,
right.
and then he had the main event, which was mediocre. So.
That was just. We'll get to
And even,
that.
yeah, we'll get to that later
Um,
about what he did in the main event.
Believe me,
So
I'll say my piece on that.
so then luckily New
It's
Day comes out to save the day as they normally do, and then Enzo and Cass as well in the Vaudevillains. So the Vaudevillains interrupt the New Day, and Enzo and Cass
right.
come out. So what do we think of what went on there?
Classic, New Day coming out doing the little running man dance and like hyping up the crowd and then doing the speck on my name, which is a reference to Birdman freaking out at the Breakfast Club.
Was the one
So
where
that
he's like, "I wish I could run on a beach into my own arms."
right.
Yeah, that was good. I know some people
Um,
said that was corny, but I was just like, no, I like that one.
and then I think the Vaudevillains initially interrupted New
Yeah, they were the
Day.
first ones. Yeah.
Right, because they're heel and New Day's face. So then Vaudevillains came out and said that basically New Day and Enzo and Cass aren't men. That
Yeah,
they're
they
the
said
rare
they
real men.
New Day did the 1999 thing, so we're gonna party like it's 1999, and they said we're gonna party like it's 1899 because we're true, and we want to bring back that era
Right,
once we win the world tag championships.
right. And then Enzo and Cass came out and they did their thing and Tweedle G. I
Yeah,
thought that was funny. That just made me laugh. He's like a Tweedle G, and I was like, oh, that's funny. And they did their little thing. I really think that Vince ultimately needs to bite his tongue and just wait for the Vaudevillains to catch on because they're gonna.
yeah,
Um, they're awesome. They're really good in the ring. And honestly, last night I thought that was some really good mic work from. I think Aiden English really can stay the mouthpiece, and Simon Gotch can just stick. I think it would be kind of funny if like. I think it'd be kind of funny if Simon Gotch didn't talk, and it was like every time that he cut a promo, he just held up cards like it was a silent movie.
yeah. I mean, that'd
I mean,
be. I don't know if that'd
why
be
not
like a
play the
bit of
gimmick?
a.
Why not play the gimmick to the fullest?
Yeah, I mean, if Vince isn't into it, then I'm not sure that he'd be behind taking it further. Going up another notch.
That's
With
true.
the tag team. But yeah, I think sometimes you have got a. It's not like they're not well received. It's just that people haven't quite got them yet.
Right.
And
Unless you've watched NXT. I mean, if you've watched NXT, then you're fully pretty much sold on them.
yeah,
Or
but I
you
mean,
aren't.
a lot of the casual crowds now they don't watch
Right.
NXT, and especially this crowd, you could tell that. I'm not sure they watched wrestling before in their lives, to be honest. Maybe like three of the fans did because the
Bunch of first-time
it was
fans.
not it was non-existent. There was no reactions from them
It
or anything
was
like.
probably the worst crowd I might have ever seen on a Raw.
Yeah,
It was really that
it's
bad.
the sound of silence. I
Yeah,
don't know
it
what
was
happened.
just crickets, crickets.
Yeah. So yeah, that was a good segment. Then we had the Usos vs Anderson and Gallows,
Hmm.
we sort of talked about on the page and said it was good because it wasn't just a squash match, which it could have
Hmm.
been because it was their debut. And
Right.
and you said you like the match. So
Digged it a lot. It really showed us what Anderson and Gallows are capable of, and I like that. I love the fact that it wasn't a squash match, and I know that you said that somebody even commented and said they were upset because it wasn't a squash match,
yeah.
and I was like, well, that's just pointless.
We don't want to see more squash matches. I mean, we have enough squash matches. We've got Apollo Crews, Baron Corbin, half the time Natalia or whoever comes out and they squash their opponents because they want to make them look. Because this is the pre-Raw, the Payback show.
Right,
This is leading up to Payback, so they just want to squash
exactly.
people. But like, that's not it's not. It doesn't make for a good show.
I also loved their music.
Oh yeah.
Their Somebody commented on my coverage and said that there's a reference to the Bullet Club theme in their music. I listened to it again, I didn't hear it.
Mm.
But if somebody wants to point that out in the comments below, please let me know because I didn't hear it, but it might be there. Also, I love their entrance gear and their ring attire. Looked real cool. They looked good in the
Yeah.
ring.
Yeah. They've definitely got sort of repackaged them and made them look a lot better than when they first debuted. So that they're definitely getting behind them a bit. And you've got after that we had AJ Styles, which was the backstage segment with Anderson and Gallows,
Right.
which is where you said it was they made it a bit obvious that they would.
Blaringly obvious that like hit and this is totally hypocritical now. I'm going to go back on what I said about Luke Gallows being pretty good at promos now. It was awful for him because he was the one who said it. That promo was terrible because he looks at AJ and he's like, "This friendship we have, it's forever." And I was like, "You literally just gave every indication to every hardcore wrestling fan that you are going to turn on him." Like that was so blaringly obvious. Maybe he won't now. And now that I said it, I jinxed it. I kind of want that too. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it.
A lot of the backstage segments, the interviews, the promos, a lot of them seem like heavily scripted.
Hmm.
And a lot of them they just didn't seem genuine, and there was no like even the later on the Dean Ambrose one. But yeah, I think the best promo, which was the next one that came up, was the Sami Zayn versus KO.
Hmm.
Because that went back to when they first met on the Indies, and from then until now. So it was a good story, which you're always going to get with Zayn and KO because they've fought each other so many times over since their
And
history.
yeah, and all the hardcore fans know that too. All
Yeah,
the people that have seen him out, they know that whole rivalry, and they knew about the rivalry before the WWE guys knew about the rivalry.
yeah,
And it's all been boiling over, and now it's finally on a main stage, mainstream, where they can show it off, and they are going to just knock it out of the park. Because I mean, as far as I know, backstage they're pretty good friends.
oh yeah, yeah, definitely.
So
I mean, they've
they
known each other for a long time, so they would be.
right, they just know everybody. They know each other's next move.
Yeah,
So, and that's really important because you look at matches like Triple H versus Shawn Michaels, any match they ever had, they just knew each other's next step. Even Cena and Orton, like they've worked together so many times in the ring that they know each other's next step. That it's always a really good match.
yeah. So, what did you think of the match that Sami Zayn had versus Rusev, who was with Lana?
Rusev coming out looking good.
Hmm.
Lost some weight, and Lana looking good as
They
always.
definitely
Um,
both been working out.
right, and if you notice, nobody was introduced as League of Nations, and I did hear that something happened on SmackDown with the League of Nations splitting up.
Okay.
But I'll cover that when the time comes. But they came out great. I thought it was a decent match for what it was. I mean, they wanted to make it look like Rusev was going to put the hurt on Sami Zayn before Payback, his match against Kevin Owens, and of
Yeah.
course we all knew that wasn't going to happen. And he got I believe like a roll up win or something.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. I mean,
The roll up win.
I thought Rusev had a good match.
He did.
I didn't think he made any mistakes. Sami
Right.
Zayn again, he always consistently has. Even if he does make a bit of a mistake, he always makes up for it. So I think those
Right.
two, um, those two are putting a really good match, and that was one of the surprises to me of the night. Um,
Definitely. And I even said like on my coverage that if Rusev can start performing at like a higher pace like Bray Wyatt does, the
hmm.
fans are gonna love that. And you could even turn him babyface. And like I said, he's not the ideal babyface, no, but people always want something new and interesting and different. They you know complain all the time about these recycled storylines, but then when they're given something new, they're like, well, this sucks too. It's like, well, they're giving you what you want, so maybe you make him kind of humble
I think
and realize
Rusev
what
also he like it's the same with KO. Like when you look at them, or like if you've ever seen Rusev in Up Up Down Down, or ever
oh yeah.
looked on his Twitter or anything like that, like Rusev is probably the most hilarious person in the company right now, along with Xavier, I'd say,
Hmm.
and
R Truth,
yeah, R-Truth and
any a New
Enzo.
Day, they're funny.
Yeah, so
Eh,
like
the-
he's definitely one of the funniest guys, but they're not allowed to. He can't bring out his personality because he's pigeonholed like Lana in this Russian gimmick, well Bulgarian, and it's the
right,
same with Lana really.
like they give the silly Russian gimmick to Vladimir Kozlov, who's not that funny, but now somebody comes along like Rusev, who can wrestle at a very high, a very good ability. He is funny backstage, and everybody knows that because kayfabe's basically been broken now because of the internet, and they see that, and they give him the most like they just are so disjointed sometimes. It doesn't make any sense. It's like they're
I
putting
mean, in that
apples
one
with
it does
oranges.
because like Rusev's European, same as Cesaro being European, so it seems like Vince just literally wants to stomp on anyone who's, from Europe.
Ridiculous.
Anytime that you see someone with a foreign accent, he just thinks, oh well, they can't talk, they can't connect with the fans,
They're
so
gonna be a joke,
I'm just gonna
Santino
stomp on
Marella.
them. I'm gonna
Like,
give them a stupid gimmick, and if they get over as a face, I'm gonna turn them heel, which is what he did with
right,
Cesaro. So
exactly.
so then you had Apollo Crews. He had a bit of a segment with Stardust where he said, "I really look up to you. Dusty was my mentor," which he was in NXT.
Right.
So there's a bit of truth in that one. And then he faced Stardust, which kind of a squash match. So which Apollo Crews is. I mean, he's always going to. At this point, he's just going to beat people. But I mean, if with it being Stardust slash Cody Rhodes, he could have put on a
Right.
better match and.
I think it could have been a little bit longer. Maybe they just really didn't have the time for it.
And I mean, the funny thing is, as well, is Cody Rhodes is not even that old. What is he, like 30?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like like AJ Styles is 38. Kevin Owens, how old's Kevin Owens? Is he late 30s or is he early 30s?
Um. Let
Uh,
me do some research. Keep talking. Let
Yeah,
me do
but
some
he's
research, and I'll let you
definitely
guys know.
he's definitely older than Cody Rhodes. But like the way that they treat Stardust slash Cody Rhodes, they treat him as if he's a Randy Orton type, where he's just been
I
there
know.
forever, and it's like
Right.
he's still relatively young. Like if AJ Styles is still at this level at 38, then surely Cody Rhodes has got a good 8 years or a good
Kevin Owens
10
is
years.
31.
Oh, he's 31, right? So Kevin Owens is
31.
actually a year older than Cody Rhodes. But the way that Kevin
Right.
Owens is being treated and the way that Stardust is being treated is completely different. And they're
I
they're
know.
just they're throwing him in squash matches. But like it's a bit different with Cody Rhodes because like he's like second generation and they know he's
Cody
talented.
Rhodes is 30.
Yeah.
He's younger than Kevin Owens.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's younger by a year. So like he's second generation, and he's like they know he's talented. Like, but like because from documentaries and that, I know that they recognize that he is like a valuable talent. But at the same time, they just don't use him, which is
You know.
weird to me because like he's like I know he wants to hammer out the Stardust gimmick, but to put him in squash matches to me is just a bit disrespectful because I mean
Pointless.
he's got to be one of the most talented guys like I don't know top I don't know top 15 guys on the roster so uh
A lot of people go on there saying that they just like his Cody Rhodes gimmick better because it's more compelling, and
yeah
I don't know. I like the Stardust gimmick, but they
but
don't give
they
him enough
can
time to build on it.
yeah but they can give him any gimmick and he will just like Cody Rhodes can do anything you give him a gimmick and he'll
I
do
know.
it so which
He'll
says a
pull off
lot about
anything.
which says a lot about his talent. But so yeah, you had the squash match. Apollo Crews was kind of a squash match, and then you had Dean Ambrose segment. I personally was disappointed in this one just because it wasn't. I've seen his segment on SmackDown, which I thought was really good, and then in Raw before, which I thought was good as well. But this one, like I wasn't feeling it from Dean Ambrose, and Jericho did make it a bit better, but
Right, Jericho had to come out kind of save it. He came out and the crowd started booing him. He shut up.
yeah,
Then he started. This was kind of funny. Me and my buddy were watching it, and he said, "Oh, you look at my boots, $750 a boot." And he was like, "I don't think that's not a thing. No, not 750 a boot.
yeah,
Like that's
yeah.
not possible."
And he did the tie thing the week before, and now it is getting a bit predictable for me. And he also does the line where he's like, "Can you understand what I'm saying to you right now?" I mean, sometimes he just kind of goes through the motions with some of what he says.
Right.
And I'd expect it's only because I know that Dean Ambrose is capable of a lot more that I would expect more from him. But in that segment, again, it was very PG, kids, predictable type of thing, and you know, it was at that point that I kind of fell asleep. So,
Hmm.
um, although I did go back and watch the rest of Raw, but that one just like I was like, no, I'm not, I can't sit through this. But and it wasn't bad, but it just
No,
wasn't as good as he's been in previous weeks.
definitely.
So then Jericho got him in the Walls of Jericho on the announce table. Again, I kind of saw that coming because when do they ever meet and not fight? But and it was a payback coming up and everything. So then we had another replay of this. I didn't like write what the specific replay was, but we had like a lot of replays throughout the night. Like we had the beginning of the show. They replayed that twice, I think, and that I didn't even want to see that the first time. Never mind replaying it again. And they
Right.
also they replayed backstage segments as well. I just remember there being a lot of replays, but I didn't think
There
that
was a
was
lot.
I didn't think that was necessary really. If anything, I'd rather they have a longer video for China and rather than doing all different replays of the night. I mean, we've obviously seen the start of the show. Most people, the majority of people, tune in for the first hour and then tune out after the second, and then again in the third it goes down again. So,
Right.
um, but yeah, after that we
Especially
have.
with shows like this.
Yeah, especially with shows like this, yeah. So you had Emma versus Natalia, where Natalia again it was a bit of a squash match, even though as you said they did show Emma come into her entrance. They didn't
Right.
show.
I mean, Natty got the just the entrance to the crowd, while Emma got the TV entrance, which is I think something to note.
Hmm.
And Natty ended up winning, and Natty's going on to face what's it called?
Charlotte
Charlotte at Payback. So
and Charlotte was
uh,
on commentary as well.
right. So I think that that's something to notice that when people say, "Oh, well, they just put Emma in a squash match, this, and that," I think that's something to note that she got a lot more than Natty did.
Yeah,
So,
the thing is I like to point out about Charlotte, like Charlotte is awful on commentary. Uh,
she's
she
terrible.
She is so bad. Stop putting her on commentary. Please just make her stand by the ring because she can't talk. She can't do improv unless she's reading from a script. She is absolutely awful. Like you get guys like Dean Ambrose, Kevin Owens, like talking on like they're amazing, but like you put Charlotte there and she's just I don't see the point in putting someone in commentary who cannot talk. She doesn't know how to respond to any of the comments from JBL or anything, and it's so just cringy. But um, yeah,
I couldn't agree more.
and like the thing is, I've been disappointed in Charlotte. Like I thought she was like when she was in NXT. I think the thing is, what people said about Charlotte in NXT is they booked her really well, and when she's being
Yep.
booked quite poorly now. It highlights a lot of her flaws because you didn't realize that she was that bad in certain areas, and then they're showing her weak points. Like if she's not good on commentary, stop throwing her like on the commentary table. Like you're highlighting the fact that she can't do something. There's also the fact that she can't sell very well. Um,
Right.
and
Oh,
there's
she's awful. She's like Roman Reigns. She just doesn't sell.
So you would think at this point that she's not really, even though like she holds like she's holding the title right now. To me, she shouldn't even really be on the main roster. Never mind holding the title. I mean, for me, Sasha Banks should be holding the title because she's more
She's the
of a
best overall.
yeah, she's more of a well-rounded competitor. She can sell, she can work the crowd, she can do everything. Charlotte, she's got so many weaknesses right now, and she needs more time to develop and to get better. I mean, I think she's an amazing athlete, but I just don't think she's there yet. And there's no way they should have give Charlotte the ball. They should have give it to either Sasha or Becky because they're ready now.
I know.
Um, and
And
yeah,
it's just like, well, you know why she has that belt? It's because she's a Flair. And that's why. And
yeah, I mean possibly.
Rick probably gave Vince a couple bottles of Jack or something and was like, "Here, make my daughter the champion until SummerSlam." Woo!
Yeah, just does the woo with Vince, like woo, do it.
And he's just like, "Oh, you still got it, Rick. You still got you want to come back for one more match?" Like,
Maybe that was in the deal.
yeah, exactly.
But
And
yeah,
then we'll see Ric Flair actually die in the ring. Because if he comes back for one more match and takes one more bump, I swear his bones are just gonna just
disintegrate. Yeah,
disintegrate. Yeah.
I don't think. I hope he doesn't come back for one more match. But yeah, so you've got after that we had Baron Corbin. He comes out. He doesn't even get a match because I mean, whoever it was, let's just assume they were going to get beat within 30 seconds. Ziggler
Oh,
jumps
it
on him.
was
Uh,
who was it?
yeah, Ziggler.
Damien Mizdow, Sandow rather, Damien Sandow.
Was that who he's supposed to face?
Yeah,
Because he
I
didn't
remember
face
because they
anyone.
came. Yeah, they were talking over. Michael Cole was talking, and I heard like this really elegant music playing, and I was like, "Is that Damien Sandow?"
Oh,
And then they
okay.
came
Must have
back,
missed that
and
bit.
he like waved to the crowd and like gave the thumbs up, and
Yeah,
then
so that's all he's got. Like you have a little wave missed out, but you're not in a match.
yeah,
So yeah, Corbin got jumped on by Ziggler, and I pointed out the fact that this for me was really strange because like Ziggler got the end of days out, like he was getting beat down on the outside and got the end of days on the outside on the mat. Ziggler is punching Corbin, and immediately three referees are surrounding him and pulling him back. Um, that to me is strange because Corbin's the heel and Ziggler's the face, and Ziggler's all, like straight away he's got three referees around him. Like where were the referees when Ziggler was getting the end of days outside? Like does no one care about Ziggler? Ziggler can get
it's
beat up as much
yeah,
as it doesn't really make
like
sense.
I don't know what has he got something against Cleveland? That's
Possibly,
just me being biased.
yeah,
No, but Dolph Ziggler gets terrible treatment for the things that he's accomplished, the things that he's capable of. I go back and watch Billy Gunn matches, and I look at him, and I look at Dolph Ziggler, and I say, dude, you are the same guy, and they are literally leading you down the same path because Billy Gunn could have probably had the WWE Championship had they booked him better.
yeah,
He was not that bad of a wrestler, and Ziggler is 10 times the wrestler that Billy Gunn ever was, and
yeah,
he's getting the same treatment. It's the same gimmick. They have the same gimmick. They have the same hair. They use the same move.
hmm
They both use the Famouser. Like, it doesn't get any more carbon copy than that. They even wear the same type of boots. They
yeah.
don't wear the laces. They have
And
the straps
the
over
pants are
oh my
kind of
gosh.
similar as well.
It's just, it's like they're carbon copying him.
Yeah, I remember when I think when was it when I think I stopped watching for about maybe a year, and then I came back and Ziggler was in his new gimmick because he went from he was in what was he in was it Nexus or
No.
who was he called like that group and he was like there was like Mikey and
Oh, Spirit Squad.
yeah, Spirit Squad, that was it. He was in the Spirit Squad, and then I watched it again, and he was Dolph Ziggler, and I was like, what the hell? I thought like I didn't recognize him, and I was like,
Well,
is that?
also, he came. I don't know if you remember a gimmick named Kerwin White. It was Chavo
Oh right, yeah,
when he was like a white guy,
yeah.
which I don't get that. Like a golfer,
Oh
middle
yeah, I remember it now.
golfer.
Yeah,
Nick Nemeth is
yeah,
his real name, and that's what he went as. He was his caddy.
yeah,
So that was also Dolph Ziggler. So I believe that was around the same time. Whether before or after Spirit Squad, I can't remember completely. Around the same time. So he was doing that before he was Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah, I mean he's been there for a long time, but I mean obviously this is his last contract now, so he'll be gone in the next 2 years. But um, but yeah, I mean maybe it's justified that Ziggler's not being treated well because I mean he's going to leave soon, but I just think he should have been treated better, in the past. But
Hmm.
oh well, he can't do anything about that now. But so yeah, we had the Miz and Maurice segment again, which I honestly can't stand, but some people don't mind him. And Cesaro came out, who is obviously he's one of my favorites, Cesaro, and saved the day as usual.
It was
Uh,
great. Cesaro's really gotten much, much better on the mic.
yeah,
He's really, really coming to on the mic, and his in-ring ability is just uh, needs no introduction.
yeah, he's always been really good in the ring. He's had 5-star matches. I mean, like to me, Cesaro is top three. I mean, that's just me personally in ring skills, and I'd put Rollins in there, and
And yeah, in my opinion, I'd say best technical wrestler on the roster,
yeah,
Cesaro.
yeah. At the moment, I mean, Daniel Bryan's gone now,
Right.
so yeah, Cesaro would definitely be up there.
Maybe Kevin Owens. He's a bit He's pretty
Yeah, he's
technical.
good. I mean, yeah, I think for me, KO, Rollins, and Cesaro, I would say because like for me, that those three have consistently 5-star matches. Like if they're
Right.
given the time, I'm not saying
Right.
5-minute matches where they don't have the time, but if you give
You're
them the
right to
time,
build a
they
story
can.
or anything.
Yeah, I mean, like they've got everything really. The wrestling ability, the endurance, the psychology. They're all like KO and Rollins are really good heels, and Cesaro doesn't even need to do much to be a face. He just needs to get in the ring and start wrestling, and then everyone cheers him. So he doesn't need to do that much. But yeah, I definitely think Cesaro should have the IC belt. If he doesn't win that, I'm not sure what I'll do, but it's he definitely
Um,
needs to win it though.
to be honest, I might throw something through my television.
Yeah, just
To
have a
be
hissy fit
quite
like that
honest.
guy at WrestleMania. Like, oh no.
Yeah.
Put your foot through the TV. No, I don't
Right.
know. I'll maybe just write an angry letter to Vince. I don't know, but he should definitely have the IC strap. I'll probably post on the page and like rant on the page about it, but yeah, I think it's like 99% that he should win that, and it's been said also on like rumors and articles that
Right.
that
That
he is
he's
winning
getting
it.
the
So
push and
so yeah, I'm going to expect that, and if it doesn't happen, then I won't be happy. But Vince knows that. So
right. I
AJ,
think that'd be kind of funny if they wanted to. I don't know how, whatever, but how they might want to book this. But I think it'd be cool if Maurice got involved into the match and then, like, they tried to DQ it and Cesaro was like no, and he
Cesaro
picked
swing
them
Maurice.
and he picks both Miz and Maurice up and swings them both
Oh yeah.
because he kind of teased that he was gonna swing Miz at the end of their segment.
They've not let him
Um,
do the swing in a while now,
I know.
which is weird. I don't know why they're doing that, but
And then Maurice hopped on top, and I was like, "Give it to them both, Cesaro. Go,
they
just
love
swing
each
them."
other so much that they keep talking about it, how much they're both great. So give them both the swing.
Right.
Yeah. So afterwards we had more exposure for Reigns. AJ Styles backstage segment. Oh, to be honest, AJ Styles had sort of not as yeah he's had pretty much the same exposure because he's had two backstage segments. So um, just based on the fact that he's in a program with Reigns. But you had a
Right.
backstage segment where AJ Styles, which I'm struggling to remember what actually happened in that backstage in the backstage segment. Yeah, I'm just gonna float over that because I've got no idea what happened. It was AJ Styles and Reigns, and then Roman Reigns had a match with Del Rio, um, which was a good match. Um,
Oh,
but what do we think of the ending? Do you think it was great booking, or do you think we should
I
give
was
creative a pat on the back?
absolutely livid.
Yeah.
Like livid, screaming at the television. And I have even said in past that I'm not even mad that I just don't like Roman Reigns' booking. You have him go out there and work a 20-minute match. And then Anderson and Gallows come to the top of the ramp. My buddy, who is a casual fan, I would consider him a casual watcher, before I even said anything, said Had that been anybody else, the distraction by Anderson and Gallows would have lost them the match. But because it was Roman Reigns, he won. They came down. He I can't remember what happened. Del Rio went to do something. He moved. Roman hit the spear, and I'm pretty sure that was it. And I was just like, okay. Then Anderson and Gallows proceed to run to the ring, start beating him down. Not for long, because Super Roman, here he comes.
he's
And
he's
then
hulking up.
it's like three guys, because at one point, then AJ was beating him down too. Three guys. After working a 20-minute match, you're telling me that you have enough to fight back and defend yourself? I don't think so, dude. That's
Also,
not
if
possible.
you can beat three guys, including AJ, how could AJ ever beat Roman Reigns on his own?
Right. They're making it look like Roman Reigns is virtually impossible to beat.
Hmm.
That he's level 100 in 2K16, like all the way attributes turned up.
And AJ Styles is 60.
AJ Styles is the first person you get in like the career
Yeah,
mode
he's a
when
creator
you're like
player with no
overall
stats.
45.
He's got
That's what he
he's
is.
got no attributes.
Like, jeez. Come
Uh,
on, WWE. You've got probably next to Jay Lethal the best wrestler in the world, in my opinion, I guess. Um, at your disposal now that you've never had ever,
and
that
they could have
have
a
been
great one-on-one
begging.
match. They could have like a great one-on-one match as well, but they're not booking it that way. They're booking it so that AJ Styles is helped by Anderson and Gallows. I mean, did they really need to do that? Because
No,
they could have had a great match,
and
and if anything, that may have got fans thinking, oh well, you know, they've had a great match, and Roman Reigns was in the match, so
I guarantee you it's only because Vince sits there and says, well, Roman is bigger than AJ, and, it's not believable that a guy smaller than, could beat him. But, Rey Mysterio, WrestleMania 22, let's just shove that under the rug when, he was the ultimate underdog. And, all these other times that I booked it that way. And, Hulk Hogan slamming Andre, what the business is
Daniel
built
Bryan.
on. But just, Daniel Bryan, World Heavyweight Champion, that never happened. Like, come on, Vince. Get it together. Like, that's got to be what it is, and also because Vince didn't make AJ Styles the guy that he is today,
Yeah,
and he's jealous. I
and
guarantee you, he's
there's still
jealous.
a question mark over why ultimately he lost to Y2J. Like, why? I mean, it was a great match. Why
Yeah,
have him lose? I mean, I like the code breaker, you know, the way that he won, but I still think you could have done something else and had AJ come out because like, and I've said this before about AJ's his momentum is that he was on like he had massive momentum because the crowd are all chanting for him and his
right.
merchandise is selling out off the shelves and I wonder sometimes, and I think, what is your motivation for pushing guys? Like, I don't understand it because is it merchandise selling out? Because obviously it isn't, because you're going to squash guys whose merchandise is selling out. So, what is your
Right.
motivation for pushing a guy? What, just how he looks? That's it. If he looks good on a poster, I mean, what does that do?
And
Because he doesn't make you money. You know, just
yeah,
because he looks good on a poster. So what? That's the people are not paying just to look at a poster. They're paying for the merchandise.
I'm
So
just hoping that come, I think now 6 weeks, that my man comes back and gets the
yeah.
push that
You
he was supposed to get, and
talking
he
about?
comes out. Bray Wyatt. I'm
Oh,
talking
you talking
about Bray.
about Bray Wyatt? I thought you were talking about Rollins then. Oh, right, Bray Wyatt. You think Bray Wyatt will take the title off Reigns?
I think that would be well. I think ultimately, I think that he's gonna bring more like. I
Even
think
if he
that
brought the entire
he
Wyatts,
can
he
be
would
a
still get
legitimate.
beat down by Roman
I
Reigns.
think that if they book him though to beat Reigns, that he could be a legitimate
Yeah, but how
force.
can
That
if they're not going to book AJ Styles and what would be the Bullet Club like the Wyatts, they've been squashed by everyone and they're nowhere near at Reigns. I mean, I'm pretty sure they feuded with Reigns at one point. I'm sure he beat them.
well,
Uh,
yeah, that's true. Um, but it's also being said that Luke Harper might not be out for as long as originally speculated. That he might not be as injured as everybody thought. So
hmm.
bringing him back into the mix, sooner rather than later is obviously a good thing because he's the second best member of the Wyatt family next to Bray Wyatt.
He's the second
Um,
best talented performer, but he's probably second squash guy to Eric
that's
Rowan.
true.
So
That's true.
I mean, like
But
he's had no breaks since he's been in the WWE, like nothing. Like
I
he
think
had the IC title for a little bit, they took it off him.
I
That's all he's done.
yeah, I think the way that you do it is you have Bray Wyatt win Money in the Bank. He's got Money in the Bank. He holds on to that till SummerSlam. Have him cash it in really quick. Even though um, a lot of people would be a little upset with that because
They
it'd be
could
pretty
done
quick.
that last year. Like I mean,
Right.
they could have put Bray Wyatt in the match. He turned
No,
up. He stopped
honestly,
roping Roman Reigns. Like he could have just took the case and ran off of it. But you know,
yeah,
they just don't want to push Bray Wyatt for whatever reason. They must
that's
think
true.
he's got so much time ahead of him that we don't need to push him right now. We can you know we.
I
I
guess,
don't know
yeah.
what the logic is. You know
He's just, yeah. He's,
he's obviously he's like I'd say like 8 or 9 out of 10 in the ring. I'd say he's 10 out of 10 on the mic. He's got the right look, as The Rock
and it's
said.
10 out of 10 on the mic consistently.
Yeah, it's not
It's
like every
never
now and
like,
again.
oh, well, he's not too good tonight. No, like ever. I've never seen a bad promo from Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, and
Not once.
I've seen mediocre ones from Ambrose. So
Right.
who else is? I mean, who else is better than Bray on the mic?
Nobody. In my opinion, he's the best on the mic in the company right now.
Yeah,
I mean, I wouldn't consider Rock really in the company, but I guess
I
maybe
think
The
booking
Rock.
comes into it though because when he cuts promos, sometimes it feels as if he's not really cutting a promo to anyone because like it's not believable because of the way they're booking him, and then
Hmm.
he gets beat, and then it's like, well, what was the point of all that? And to say this would be a big thing, and then he just gets beat, and then he moves on to the next feud, which is just stupid. Like they
It
shouldn't.
makes him look like up. It makes Bray look like he's the crazy uncle. It's
Yeah.
like up here he goes again, just rambling on.
Like Bray at one point, like the bit where he was in the cage and the little was it like a little girls were in there or something like that. I can't remember. It was like a load of kids or something like that, and the
Yeah,
lights flashed on. At that point, he could have started a Daniel Bryan size heel movement, where like everyone just got in on this big Bray Wyatt train, but they just they de-pushed him and squashed him and he lost, and then it was just like, oh,
the,
why? But he should definitely, for me, either Bray Wyatt or Ambrose, they should be
it's
they should
just the way the
take the
cookie
title off him,
crumbles now, I guess.
or maybe if like obviously Rollins is probably going to do it, but
Right.
I wouldn't mind someone else doing it beforehand, and then Rollins feuds with someone else, even it take it off Reigns, and then Rollins jumps on Reigns and stops him from getting the title or something.
Right. And I just say that Bray Wyatt's the most deserving to win Money in the Bank this year. I'm,
Yeah,
if Kevin Owens does win it, whatever, so goes life. I'll be fine with it because I like Kevin Owens. But you know what? Bray Wyatt's been there a lot longer than Kevin Owens has, and I think that he deserves it, really more than anybody else. And before we cut it off, um, Bray Wyatt's based on opportunity and timing, and that's what Money in the Bank is based on:
hmm
opportunity and timing. He's the perfect guy.
I personally I'd say him or Dean Ambrose, but yeah, any of those two for me would be fine. But yeah, Money in the Bank is will be the next big surprise from the looks of it. But yeah, I'm kind of sort of excited for Payback. I don't know, kind of.
I'm excited because I want to see who's gonna officially run Raw. I'm calling it right now. I'm calling the swerve. Vince says neither of you are running Raw. I got somebody else, and we hear I'm back and
Yeah,
I'm better than ever. Eric Bischoff.
yeah.
I'm calling
Well,
it.
we'll see what happens at Payback, but yeah, we'll be doing the SmackDown podcast, so look out for that. As usual, if you want to drop us any comments after the show, feel free to.
Always
Uh,
drop comments.
and thanks for listening to us. I'm Weebs signing off.
Cleveland Brawler out of here, guys.